Hello, everyone. Mike Miller, radio voice of the Kalamazoo Wings, welcoming you to the 13th annual Kalamazoo Wing television special. In this year's feature, the Kalamazoo Wings, 15 years and counting. We'll take a look at your Kalamazoo Wings from their initial season in 1974 to this year's version of professional hockey in Kalamazoo. I'd like to thank Kelsey Credit Union for their continued support of Wings hockey and their sponsorship of this evening's presentation. In the next half hour, we'll try to recap the proud 15 years of professional hockey in Southwest Michigan. We hope you enjoy it.
If you own or work for a business within these Kalamazoo County boundaries, you could become a Cal-C Credit Union member. Your employer just has to be willing to provide payroll deduction, or simply agree to associate with us. Then you can join the family that serves yours.
Cal-C Credit Union is our family serving yours.
Your best impression.
Style, here for you.
Tan.
Style, here for you.
Nails.
Style, here for you.
Facials.
Style, here for you.
Relax. Because in today's world, you can't afford not to. We're here for you.
The proud 15-year history of the Kalamazoo Wings Hockey Club had to start somewhere. Let's talk to the chairman of the board, Ted Parfit, and ask him how it all began.
Well, the stadium was really established in the early planning concepts in 1973 when Henry Grooms, Al Humantle, and Jim Gilmore and myself felt that there was a place in Kalamazoo for a professional hockey franchise.
And I inquired if there was a possibility that I could acquire a franchise here in Kalamazoo.
The time we left that meeting, we had a pretty good idea that at least the IHL would be a great thing for Kalamazoo and that we would be extremely fortunate to get an IHL franchise.
And I just thought it might be possible to talk to Jim Gilmore and Charlie Zeman regarding some of their holdings out in the Sprinkle Road area adjacent to the Holiday Inn Motel. And interestingly enough, we discovered that in their long-range plans for development of this area out at the Sprinkle Road location, they had a sports complex of some magnitude already planned. We started immediately on the design of the structure, and the architect was very helpful in visiting some other hockey arenas, and he started presenting drawings to us that seemed to match the requirements of the league and the community for a hockey facility.
Original completion date of the complex was scheduled for January of 1975. As construction continued, Wing founders were busy taking care of details to ready themselves for the fast-approaching 1974-75 IHL campaign. In April of 1974, the Kalamazoo franchise ironed out a working agreement with the Detroit Red Wings, hence the nickname Kalamazoo Wings and the name of the facility still under a rapid pace of construction. On the recommendation of the Detroit organization, Bob Lemieux was named the franchise's first general manager and coach.
I came here with the family on June 1, and they had taken the topsoil off. That was it. We had nothing to work with. We began building. We started working in the Holiday Inn. Spent, I think it was a couple of months there, working out of 2 rooms with 2 dogs, 2 kids, my cousin from Europe, and Mariette and I trying to survive. We moved out of there into a 40-foot trailer, I think it was, over on the corner where the country kitchen is now. And we added the building office, we added a pro shop, we added a ticket sales office, and we were all a very cozy group at that time.
Besides the day-to-day business operations, Lemieux started piecing together the original version of the Kalamazoo Wings. Lemieux signed the franchise's first player, Al Genevieve. Candidates for the first Kalamazoo team were looked at by General Manager Coach Lemieux at the club's first training camp. It was held at the Kalamazoo Ice Arena. The Wings opened their first season, the 1974-75 campaign at Flint on October 18, 1974. The Wings dropped a 6-3 decision to the Generals. Ned Dowd scored the first ever Kalamazoo Wing goal. The Wings played their first 3 games on the road and brought an 0-3 record into their home opener against the Saginaw Gears on October 30th, 1974.
When we completed the stadium in 1974, it was recognized as a miracle on Van Ryck. And certainly their opening night in October of 1974 was a feeling of real accomplishment for many of us. The community responded in a very positive way, and professional hockey was here in Kalamazoo.
And I think this is one of the best things that's came to Kalamazoo in a long time.
I like to see the players and like to see the excitement.
I think it's about time. I've been waiting 19 years for this in this area. I think it's great to have it here.
October 30th, 1974, opening night. A crowd of 3,918, including the construction crew, witnessed the first ever hockey game at Wing Stadium. Saginaw won that game by a score of 7-3. The result of that game, in comparison to the 18 months of building, planning, and organizing, was insignificant. The Wings went on to win just 17 games that initial campaign. Despite Kalamazoo's record, the excitement that surrounded the initial campaign still drew 140,000 fans to Wing Stadium that first season. That season also gave Southwest Michigan hockey fans their first look at a young right wing from St. Paul, Alberta. Mike Wanchuk was his name, and in that 74-75 season, Wanchuk totaled 81 points in 71 games. Wanchuk, along with Al Genevieve, Nick Holmes, Glenn Ing, Brent Callaghan, Elgin McCann, and Jim Mackey were a few of the early fan favorites. Coming up next, the Kalamazoo Wings win their first of 2 consecutive cups as the Kalamazoo Wings, 15 years and counting, continues.
What's so special about belonging to Cal C Credit Union? Share draft accounts with little or no service charges. 24-hour teller cards to use across town or across the country. Account balance information and transfers 24 hours a day by touch-tone phone. High technology and old-fashioned service. Special services for special people, our members.
Cal C Credit Union is our family, serving yours.
Thank you. Did you know that Cal C Credit Union is a family business? It's true. Families depend on the people of Cal C to help them finance cars, for home improvement and vacation loans, and saving for tomorrow. And as your family grows, Cal C grows too. Now there are 2 offices to serve you. So come on, join the family.
Cal C Credit Union is our family, serving yours.
In their second campaign, the 1975-76 season, the Wings increased their win total enough to make their first appearance in the Turner Cup playoffs. They were eliminated in the first round, 4-2 by Dayton. In their second season, again it was Wanchuk leading the way with 91 points. Rugged performers Alvin White and Leonard Candia were added along with Kenny Mann, Brett Callaghan, Emil DeWoyzak, Al Genevieve, Ron Wilson, and Merlin Jenner. All those players instrumental in Kalamazoo's ever-improving franchise. The 1976-77 season, the Wings bettered the 500 mark for the first time with a record of 38, 27, and 13, good for 89 points, second best total in the league. Under Lemieux, Wanchuk blossomed again, totaled 97 points. Ron Wilson was a first-team All-Star, and other standouts included Yvonne Dupuis, Dwight Schofield, and Al Genevieve. Fred Berry and Terry Richardson also contributed. Kevin Shamahorn made his first appearance in a Wings uniform that season. He immediately became a fan favorite. Candia and White continued their rugged style, racking up huge penalty minute totals. The Wings advanced to the semifinals in the playoffs that year. They succumbed to a powerhouse Saginaw club 4-1. The season was also highlighted by the appearance of the Soviet Spartak team. The Wings won the exhibition contest 7-6 behind the goaltending of Terry Richardson. He made 48 saves. Mike Wanchuk scored 4 times. The 1976-77 season was also the first for veteran trainer Terry Roof. Now with over a decade of service to professional hockey in Kalamazoo, Roof remains an integral part of the Kalamazoo Wing family.
It was just the fact that they needed somebody that could sort of, I guess, be their leader as far as playing aggressive hockey goes. And you know, it's not that they didn't have guys that were playing aggressive. It was just that they didn't have somebody that could take charge.
And take charge he did with his aggressive style of play. The Wings finished second in the IHL's North Division. A familiar name, Mike Wanchuk, again led the Wing attack with 92 points. 2 other offensive magicians were introduced to Wing faithful, left wing Tom Milani, and an All-American out of Michigan State, center Tom Ross. Alvin White and Len Urcandia, along with Al Genevieve, Kevin Shamahorn, and Richard Sevigny had banner seasons. Pete Slater replaced Lemieux in behind the Wings bench in November. Lemieux remained as GM. The Wings, under All-Star coach Slater, advanced again to the semifinals and were stopped by Port Huron 4-1. In July of 1978, Bill Purcell replaced Slater as head coach. Lemieux remained as the club's general manager and also took over stadium operations. Purcell had a cast of talent already in the likes of Wanchuk, Ross, Milani, Urcandia, Wilson, and Shamahorn, plus the addition of Doug Dirksen and Al Jensen gave the Wings a strong nucleus. In December, the Wings acquired the services of Randy Moans, Pete Crawford, Ben Gosselin, and Brian McDavid in a trade from Toledo. The Wings finished second in the IHL's North Division. Ross and Milani finished among the leaders in the IHL scoring parade. The Wings ousted both Saginaw and Flint 4-0 to advance to the finals. That would set up one of the most memorable Turner Cup finals ever. With injuries to Wilson and Ross and suspensions to Milani and Urcandia, the Wings forced a 7th game with the powerhouse Grand Rapids Owls. With a crowd of 3,970 fans packed in the stadium arena, the Owls took a 1-0 lead at 2:31 of the first period on a goal by Dean McGee. John Chouinard's slap shot from just inside the blue line fooled Grand Rapids goaltender Gord Laxton. The game was tied 1-1 at 16:47 of the first period. Grand Rapids opened the scoring at 2:34 of the second period on a goal by Kim Davis to take a 2-1 lead. Wanchuk, who had a career-low 59 points in 77 regular season games, tied the game 2-2 at 15:49 of the second period. Pete Crawford scored what proved to be the winner from the left point at 12:15 of the third period, giving the Wings a 3-2 lead. The surging Mike Wanchuk added an insurance goal 1 minute and 37 seconds later to give the Kalamazoo Wings a 4-2 lead. Rookie Doug Dirksen put the nail in the Grand Rapids coffin by scoring the third unanswered third period Kalamazoo Wing goal. The Kalamazoo Wings win their first cup 4-3. Another standout in the 7th and deciding game was goaltender Al Jensen. He stopped 39 of 41 Owl shots. He was spectacular. Jensen played the game with 2 severely pulled groins. Wanchuk, in a comeback from a disappointing regular season, totaled 23 points in 15 games. He had 13 goals and 10 assists. Kevin Shamahorn led the way with 24 points. He had 15 goals and 9 assists. The city of Kalamazoo honored the Turner Cup champions with a special ceremony at Bronson Park. And the second miracle in Kalamazoo Wing hockey history was etched in stone and on the Turner Cup.
It's just a lot of hard sweat and blood and tears, and here's the tears now, boy, and it's a jubilation.
For the second consecutive year, the Kalamazoo Wings hit pay dirt. The Kalamazoo Wings, 15 years and counting, continues.
Thank you. Did you know that Cal C Credit Union is a family business? It's true. Families depend on the people of Cal C to help them finance cars, for home improvement and vacation loans, and saving for tomorrow. And as your family grows, Cal C grows too. Now there are 2 offices to serve you. So come on, join the family.
Cal C Credit Union is our family, serving yours.
If you own or work for a business within these Kalamazoo County boundaries, you could become a Cal C Credit Union member. Your employer just has to be willing to provide payroll deduction or simply agree to associate with us. Then you can join the family that serves yours.
Kelsey Credit Union is our family serving yours.
I hope the future, starting now in the 79-80 season, it's another year for us. We are the Turner Cup champions, but as our slogan says, we're going for it again. And we do this with determination and convictions that we have the best team in the league. And I know it's going to be another successful year for the Kalamazoo Wings.
Those lofty expectations were handed to new general manager coach Doug McKay. The Wings started the 1979-80 season without a number of key players who participated with the 78-79 Cup-winning club. The Wings patched the holes with the likes of Rob Plum, Neil Meadmore, goaltenders George Gagnon and Larry Lazinski, and the nucleus of Tom Milani, Mike Wanchuk, Tom Ross, and Doug Dirksen remained. Lazinski went on to win first All-Star team honors along with Tom Ross. Lazinski also captured the Norris Trophy for the league's best goaltender. Veteran defenseman Brian McDavid also earned All-Star honors. He was named to the IHL's second team. The Wings won 45 games in that 79-80 season. That was a new club high. It was also good for the IHL's regular season championship, the Huber Trophy. McKay led the Wings into the playoffs with home ice advantage by winning 8 of their last 10 home games. The Wings ousted the Muskegon Mohawks 4-1 in the first round of the playoffs. The Wings also disposed of the Port Huron Flags in the second round, 4-2, but it was a costly series. The Wings losing all-star goaltender Larry Lazinski. For the second consecutive year, the Kalamazoo Wings were in the Turner Cup Finals. This time, the Fort Wayne Komets would provide the opposition. Kalamazoo led 3-2 with the 6th game scheduled for Fort Wayne on Saturday, May 17, 1980. Goaltender George Gagnon, replacing the injured Larry Lazinski, stopped 32 of 33 Comet shots to give the Wings their second consecutive Turner Cup. Mike Wanchuk, Glenn Wiley, Neil Meadmore, and Jean Chouinard all scored for the Kalamazoo Wings. Meadmore, in fact, scored twice, an empty netter to close out the Comets.
They really wanted to win, and I think they proved it in this series.
And I'm glad I could come through and help the guys and play as well as Larry if he'd have been here. And it's just a big thrill to help these guys win a championship like this.
A good group of guys. They stuck together, hung in there, came back strong the other night, and we're just been building momentum all the way up until tonight.
The first goal in the deciding game was scored by Mike Wanchuk. Wanchuk's goal was his last as a Kalamazoo Wing. His number 22 is enshrined in the Wings Stadium lobby. His uniform, the only jersey ever to be retired by the Wings organization.
It's expected of us this year, maybe more so than last year. Last year was a surprise when we won it all, and this year was sort of expected, and to come through when everybody was gunning for us and everything like that. We were down in the series 2-1, and we never gave up. It's as big a thrill, I think.
In the 1980-81 season, Coach McKay returned to guide the Wings to new regular season heights without the nucleus of his Turner Cup championship team. Returnees Neil Meadmore, Doug Dirksen, Brian McDavid, Mark Mullen, Rob Plum, and George Gagnon led the Wings to a new club record 52 wins and 114 points. Those veterans, along with newcomers Jim Maladruitz, Boris Fistrick, Bob LeCune, Kelly Kissio, and Claude Legris saw the Wings upset in the finals by the Saginaw Gears, while Scott Vanderberg was named the IHL's Rookie of the Year. Vanderberg passed away this past fall at the age of 29 after a long bout with cancer. The following season, the popular J.P. LeBlanc took over as general manager and coach. In the next 3 years, LeBlanc's clubs would finish 3rd and 5th twice in the IHL's overall standings. The Wings would advance to second-round playoff action only once. LeBlanc would get outstanding play from the likes of exciting center iceman Brent Jarrett, who won MVP honors and the scoring championship in 1981-82. Third-year goaltender George Gagnon was an all-star selection. 1981-82 also gave Southwest Michigan hockey fans their first look at professional hockey on green ice.
The first year we did it, Mike, happened to be the worst ice we ever put down as far as color and texture and everything else. We had all kinds of problems, stoppage of play with the green shamrocks coming up. But we drew 5,446 people, which is the third largest crowd in the history of the franchise, and it's grown in popularity ever since.
The 1982-83 season saw Steve Bononis lead the Kalamazoo Wings with 42 goals. Bill McNaught and Rob Davies paced the wing attack with 83 and 78 points respectively. Mike Brown, Wade Dawson, Jeff Johnston anchored the Kalamazoo Wing blue line core. 83-84 saw center Rob Davies total a club-high 94 points. Neil Meadmore, 88, and returning Brent Jarrett, 82. Jim McCrae and Steve Bononis each tallied 40-plus goals, while Captain Shamahorn added 37. One of the biggest sports extravaganzas ever in Southwest Michigan took place on January 17, 1984, when the IHL All-Star team hosted the United States Olympic team. A standing room-only crowd looked on as the IHL All-Star team, guided by two familiar faces, downed the Olympians by a score of 6-4. Besides Davies, representing the Wings were goaltender George Gagnon, defenseman Scott McGowan, along with coach J.P. LeBlanc and trainer Terry Roof. Bill Inglis took over as coach and general manager of the Kalamazoo Wings in the 1984-85 season. Inglis wasted little time in assuring Kalamazoo hockey fans that they would have a wider selection of professional talent by signing NHL working agreements with both Vancouver and Philadelphia. Those two clubs would join Detroit as Kalamazoo's NHL partners. The Flyers sent in the likes of goaltender Ron Hextall, defenseman Bill Schaffhauser, and Grant Anderson, along with high-scoring forward and Dave Mikhailuk. Those players with the nucleus of talent such as Kevin Shamahorn, John Flesch, Wayne Crawford, Dale Yakachuk, Brent Jarrett, and George Gagnon led the Wings to a 40, 35, and 7 mark. The Wings ousted Flint 4-3 in the first round of the playoffs on an overtime goal by Kevin Shamahorn. The Wings were sent home by Muskegon in the next round, 4-0. Shamahorn's overtime goal was his last as a Kalamazoo Wing. In total, Shamahorn played 7 years for the Wings, appearing in 546 games, totaled 535 points, both club records. 1985 was also the last for longtime Wing broadcaster Terry Ficcarelli. Ficcarelli and his adjective-filled commentary moved on to Adirondack of the American Hockey League. Under Inglis in 1985, the Wings accumulated 100 points in the standings for only the second time in club history. In 1985-86, the club was led by the trio of Bill Terry, Wayne Crawford, and Rob Nichols. The Kalamazoo Wing Blue Line Corps was anchored by Bill Schaffhauser, Brian Tutt, Grant Anderson, John Bukaboom. The Wings were ousted in the first round of the playoffs by Saginaw, 4-2. The injury-filled 1986-87 campaign saw a few highlights. One of them was the feisty play of rookie left wing Kevin Evans. He totaled a mind-boggling 648 minutes in penalties and still managed to score 19 goals. Dale Yakachuk, coming over in a trade with Milwaukee for Wayne Crawford, led the Wings in scoring with 79 points. Veterans Brent Jarrett and Claude Noel each enjoyed fine seasons. The Blue Line Corps was led by a rugged defenseman, John Bukaboom. The Wings lost in the first round of the playoffs to Muskegon 4-1. The 1987-88 season was highlighted by the marriage between the Kalamazoo Wings and the Minnesota North Stars.
This is a good start. It's a good base to establish a long, firm, standing relationship, and I'm very pleased personally with the way things have gone.
John Marks was named coach in July of 1987. Inglis remained on as the club's GM. The Wings finished 5th that year in the IHL's Eastern Division with a record of 37, 33, and 12. Bill Terry led the club in scoring with 85 points, while Mitch Messier, Emmanuel Viveros with 63 points, a new club record for defensemen, Paul Houck, and George Servinas all enjoyed fine seasons. John Casey sparkled in goal with a 3.64 goals against average. Bill Terry received no less than 6 individual awards for his play during the campaign. The playoff matchup between the Kalamazoo Wings and the Denver Rangers went 7 games. The Wings were stunned by an overtime goal in Game 7 and were sent packing 4-3. In the summer of 1988, the Wings changed colors and were now wearing the green, gold, black, and white of the Minnesota North Stars. Minnesota held its training camp at Wing Stadium in September. Kevin Constantine was named assistant coach in September. The 1988-89 season has been eventful under Coach John Marks. The rugged play and later the injury to Kevin Evans. The scoring of Ken Hodge, Darcy Norton, and Mitch Messier. The hustle and persistence of Mike McHugh and Scott Robinson. The skill of rookie Rob Zettler and the exuberance of the hard-charging Don Barber. The abilities of Steve Gaddis, Mike Berger, Scott McCready, and Joe Lockwood. Link Gates, Larry Bernard, and Paul Gerard add toughness, while John Blue, Larry Dick, and Yarmo Milas will handle the goaltending chores. Captain Emmanuel Viveros, rookies Dean Kolstad and Dave Schofield, along with Warren Babe and Mike Hiltner, round out the Wings club that will carry Kalamazoo's strong tradition into postseason play. The Kalamazoo Wing organization that so fondly remembers its past looks to the future with the construction of Wing Stadium Annex being built adjacent to the current Wing Stadium.
What's so special about belonging to Cal C Credit Union? Share draft accounts with little or no service charges. 24-hour teller cards to use across town or across the country. Account balance information and transfers 24 hours a day by touch-tone phone. High technology and old-fashioned service. Special services for special people, our members.
Cal C Credit Union is our family, serving yours.
Your best impression.
Style, here for you.
Tan.
Style, here for you.
Nails.
Style, here for you.
Facials.
Style, here for you.
Relax. Because in today's world, you can't afford not to. We're here for you.
With Minnesota, I think we'll do fine.